High IQ doesn't always look like perfect grades, big words, or being the loudest person in the room. Sometimes it looks a lot more ordinary than that. It can look like overthinking simple things, getting bored by repetition, noticing tiny details, talking to yourself, or needing more alone time than other people understand. And because these habits can seem strange from the outside, a lot of intelligent people grow up thinking there's something wrong with the way their mind works. So in this video, we're going through 7 rare habits that may reveal a highly intelligent mind. Not because these habits prove someone is a genius, but because they often show up in people who think deeply, question things, and process the world differently. Let's start with the first one. You question things other people just accept. One of the clearest signs of a sharp mind is that you don't automatically accept something just because everyone else does. You find yourself asking why people behave a certain way, why certain rules exist, why something is considered normal, or why everyone believes something without really thinking about it. To some people, this can make you seem difficult, negative, or too serious. But most of the time, you're not trying to argue. You're trying to understand. A highly intelligent mind usually isn't satisfied with surface level answers because it wants to know the reason behind the reason. That's why smart people often question traditions, social rules, popular opinions, and even their own beliefs. They don't just want to know what is happening. They want to understand why it's happening and whether it actually makes sense. 2, you talk to yourself. Talking to yourself might look strange from the outside, but for many people, it's actually a way of organizing their thoughts. When you say something out loud, the idea becomes easier to understand because it's no longer just floating around in your head. You can hear it, test it, adjust it, and notice where it doesn't make sense. That's why you might talk yourself through a decision, repeat a plan out loud, or have a quiet conversation with yourself when no one is around. It's not always random, and it doesn't mean your mind is out of control. It can simply mean your brain is turning invisible thoughts into something clearer. For an active mind, speaking things out loud can make problem solving easier because it gives your thoughts structure. 3, you get bored by repetition. If you have a curious or fast-moving mind, repetition can start to feel frustrating very quickly. Doing the same thing over and over again, especially when there's no challenge or meaning behind it, can make you feel restless. This doesn't always mean you're lazy. A lot of the time, it means your brain is looking for stimulation. It wants to learn something, solve something, connect ideas, or find a better way to do what's already being done. That's why intelligent people can sometimes struggle with boring routines, slow conversations, or tasks that feel too easy. Their mind naturally starts searching for a pattern, a shortcut, a problem to fix, or a more interesting angle. This can be a strength because it pushes you to improve things, but it can also become a weakness if you constantly avoid anything that doesn't feel exciting. The real skill is learning the difference between boredom that tells you to grow and boredom that's just part of discipline. 4, you notice small details. Some people walk into a room and only notice the obvious things, but an observant mind tends to pick up on much more. You may notice a change in someone's tone, a pause before they answer, a tiny shift in the mood, or a detail in the background that everyone else ignored. You might also notice when someone's words don't match their behavior, or when something feels slightly off even before you can explain why. This can make you very good at reading people, spotting problems, and understanding situations quickly. But it can also make your mind feel crowded, because you're not just seeing what's in front of you, you're processing layers. You're noticing what was said, what wasn't said, what changed, and what it might mean. That's why intelligent or highly observant people can sometimes feel mentally tired, even when they haven't done much physically. Their brain has been working in the background the whole time. 5, you need alone time to recharge. A lot of intelligent people need more alone time than others expect. Not because they hate people, and not because they think they're better than everyone else, but because their mind is constantly processing information. Social situations can be enjoyable, but they can also be mentally loud. There are conversations, facial expressions, emotions, expectations, decisions, background noise, and hundreds of small things happening at once. After a while, it all adds up, so alone time becomes a reset. It gives your thoughts a chance to settle and gives your brain enough quiet space to make sense of everything. This is why you might enjoy quiet walks, late night thinking, sitting alone with your thoughts, or doing something simple without being interrupted. To other people, it might look like you're isolating yourself, but for you, it may simply be how your brain recovers. 6, You change your opinion when the evidence changes. One of the most underrated signs of intelligence is the ability to change your mind. A lot of people think being smart means always being right, but real intelligence is being able to admit when your old view no longer fits the facts. It's being able to say, I didn't know that, or that changes things, or I used to think this, but now I see it differently. That takes mental flexibility, and mental flexibility is powerful because the moment your ego becomes too attached to being right, you stop learning. Highly intelligent people don't treat every opinion like a permanent identity. They treat it more like a working model, something that can be updated when better information appears. That doesn't make you weak. It means your mind is still open enough to grow. 7. Your mind makes connections other people miss. A highly intelligent mind often connects things that seem unrelated. You might hear a conversation and suddenly connect it to something you read years ago. You might watch a movie and start thinking about human behavior, society, relationships, or childhood patterns. You might notice someone's small reaction and instantly connect it to something deeper going on beneath the surface. From the outside, this can look like your thoughts are jumping everywhere. But inside your mind, there's usually a pattern. Your brain is connecting dots. It's seeing relationships between ideas, memories, emotions, and experiences. That's why you may get random insights while showering, walking, driving, or trying to sleep. Your mind keeps working even when you're not forcing it to. And this is one of the reasons intelligent people can be analytical, creative, and deeply reflective at the same time. They don't just see separate pieces of information, they see how those pieces might fit together. But here's the important thing. Having a high IQ doesn't mean you're better than anyone. And these habits don't automatically make someone intelligent. They simply reveal something about the way your mind might work. If you question things deeply, notice details others miss, need time alone to process, change your opinion when the evidence changes, and constantly connect ideas in the background. Then maybe the things that made you feel weird were never signs that something was wrong with you. Maybe they were signs that your mind was working differently, because intelligence isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's quiet, curious, restless, observant, and always trying to understand what's beneath the surface. And once you realize that, you stop seeing your mind as the problem. You start learning how to use it. If this made you think, subscribe to keep discovering your inner self.